Hello, and welcome to our lesson on project execution and change management. This segment will cover change management practices in project management. Change management practices. In project management, refer to the change management activities that represent good practice in project management. These activities follow the change lifecycle framework discussed in the previous section and elaborate on the change management activities in project management process groups. While not directly engaged in the formulate change step, project managers play a crucial role as stakeholders, necessitating access to information pertaining to project planning. When projects operate outside of a program, the project manager collaborates with the portfolio manager and sponsor to intricately outline the project's scope and meticulously identify the requirements for change management activities. In change management, formulate change activities take center stage, with primary attention from portfolio and program management, showcasing the collaborative orchestration essential for successful project evolution. Change management activities should commence early in the project definition, necessitating the establishment and definition of people leading the activity in the project charter. The lead for change management activities may be the project manager, program manager, integrator, sponsor, or dedicated employee. The lead function is generally responsible for planning and coordinating the execution of various change management activities in a project, including communication with stakeholders, process design and redesign, organizational design, identification and establishment of measures for acceptance and substantive adoption of the change, and identifying, planning, and adapting plans to address risks, such as resistance to change. Change management stakeholder identification involves a more in-depth analysis of each primary stakeholder group to better understand potential areas of risk to the acceptance and full adoption of the change. This includes identifying influencers, secondary and tertiary stakeholders, and assessing the volatility in stakeholder positions on the change. When addressing change management risks, it is useful to add information about stakeholder points of view regarding the change to the stakeholder register and judgment about the volatility of each stakeholder or stakeholder group's support for the change. What could alter a stakeholder's support for a change and its outcomes? Change management activities commence before traditional project chartering, encompassing a broader spectrum of activities, primarily managed at the program level. Coordination of responsibilities and schedules for change management activities is crucial, and addressing the following questions is imperative. Who is responsible for planning and scheduling these activities? How will this project be integrated at the program level? And how are resource constraints managed? How are benefits defined and measures developed to determine the success of the change? How is change success defined, assessed, tracked, and addressed through changes to project scopes, schedules, or resources? Defining the change management scope parallels. Defining a project management scope. Incorporating inputs such as change readiness assessment and agreements for coordination with program management. Key considerations to include in the project charter are planning for, monitoring, and addressing risks affecting acceptance, adoption, and sustainability to ensure benefit achievement. Defining measures of success and needs of the project team to establish methods for measurement and adapt project results throughout the project. Incorporating actions into the project management plan to transition project outcomes into sustainable business operations. Including outcomes in the project charter for effective coordination with change management. Specifying change management activities carried out in the project as opposed to the program. In the early stages of the project, stakeholders are invited to raise questions and concerns. Two primary forms of resistance, denial, and fear must be addressed. Denial, where individuals do not believe the change will occur, may result in subsequent changes to project requirements. Fear of change can lead to a stubborn insistence on the status quo, potentially impeding project progress if not explored thoroughly. The planning of change management activities can be a joint effort involving the program and project managers, or may fall under their respective responsibilities. The planning process revolves around project scheduling, risk management, and stakeholder engagement. The change approach is defined based on the following practices. Collect change management requirements. Change readiness assessments, change management scope. Identify process design and redesign requirements, organizational design requirements, skills and abilities requirements, communications, and stakeholder interests. Define, sequence, resource, and budget. Change management. Activities. Coordinate resource planning effectively. Engage experienced facilitators for large or multiple stakeholder groups, considering procurement and budget implications if expertise is lacking. Outline, sequence, and resource activities for transitioning the change into business operations. Integrate change management activities into the project schedule. Identify measures of benefits. Realization, envision, benefits. Realization measures, and ensure organizationally sound measurement systems, targets, and resources for ongoing operational measurement of full adoption and resulting outcomes. Clarify risks to change acceptance, adoption, and realization, and plan abatement activities. Categorize risks into people risk, cultural risk, capability development risk, process development risk, organizational structure and management risk, time risk, and environmental risk. Identify means for assessing and measuring risk. Employ risk mitigation activities. The Stakeholder Management Plan, more aptly termed a Stakeholder Engagement Plan in the context of change management, not only pre-plans communications, but is crafted to identify necessary communications based on risks outlined in the risk register. Regarding change management issues, the Stakeholder Management Plan serves to inform, establish ownership and distribute decision-making, foster crucial relationships among stakeholders, invite and share relevant knowledge and experience, build confidence and competence, identify and address issues, concerns, and resistance, and reinforce successful movement to the future state. The plan should distinctly outline responsibilities, timelines, and adaptive responsibilities for sponsors, program managers, leads, integrators, project managers, operational leadership, and external partners. There is an important need to plan for closeout activities, encompassing actions and activities necessary to transfer the project's products, services, or results to the next phase or to production and/or operations. 3 categories of activities are pertinent to include in a project's transition plan. Volume and size transition, moving from a pilot, sample, or test environment to a fully operational setting. Capability and expertise. Transition, shifting from an expert-driven set of capabilities to broad capability across all processes, including management processes, essential for the change. Managerial transition, progressing from a project-managed and sponsor-driven environment to an operations-managed and operations-driven environment. Project implementation and change implementation share similarities, with the project manager overseeing the monitoring of change management aspects against the schedule, resource requirements, and budget outlined in the project management plan. Risk responses in this context tend to be more iterative, requiring frequent adjustments compared to standard projects. Implementing change involves foundational and preparatory activities to ensure that resources are strategically aligned to drive the change initiative forward. Change management resources, either internal or external, encompass training resources, communications resources, process design resources, human resources, organizational design, cultural assessment and development expertise. This is the end of this segment of our lesson. In the next segment, we will continue change management practices in project management. This course is presented to you by South Europe College. Thank you for listening.